Hi, I'm Ed Sheeran.
And I'm Elton John.
This is Johnny Mathis.
Johnny Holder here. I want you to have a rocking good Christmas.
This is Mariah Carey.
Hello, this is Bing Crosby.
You're listening to the Sounds of Christmas podcast.
Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to start off by saying there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. In the previous episode, I talked about Christmas albums and singles that made it to number one on the U.S. Billboard charts, referring to that episode as Christmas number ones. However, in England, Ireland, and other countries, Christmas number ones means something else entirely. So I thought I'd devote this episode to those Christmas number ones. In the United Kingdom, Christmas number ones are singles that top the UK singles chart in the week in which Christmas Day falls. Most Americans are familiar with this thanks to the movie Love Actually, where the fictional rock star Billy Mack tries to get his Christmas single to be that year's Christmas number one. The Christmas number one is considered especially prestigious, more so than any other number one song at any other time of the year. Christmas number one singles have often also been the best-selling song of the year, though in recent years they've been released by reality television contestants and charity efforts. Due to the common practice of dating a chart by the date on which the week ends, the Christmas chart is dated the end of the week containing the 25th of December. With all of that said, it's rarely the case that the Christmas number one is actually a Christmas song. Maybe rarely isn't the right word, but more often than not, the Christmas number one is not a Christmas song. The UK singles chart began in 1952, appearing in the New Musical Express, position of all songs based on weekly sales. The emergence of a serious contest for the Christmas number one spot began in 1973, when the glam rock bands Slade and Wizzard deliberately released festive songs in an effort to reach the top of the charts at Christmas. The Christmas number one single was not revealed on Christmas Day itself until 1994. The first Christmas number one was Here in My Heart by Al Martino, and that was in 1952. I know that's not a Christmas song, but I thought you'd like to know who had the first Christmas number one and what the song was. The first Christmas number one that was actually a Christmas song was in 1955, Christmas Alphabet by Dickie Valentine. The next one was 2 years later, Mary's Boy Child by Harry Belafonte. There wasn't another Christmas song as the Christmas number one until 1973, and that was Slade's Merry Christmas, Everybody. A year later, that honor went to the band Mud with their song Lonely at Christmas. Johnny Mathis had the Christmas number one in 1976 with When a Child is Born. In 1978, the Christmas number one was Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord by Boney M. The next Christmas song to become the Christmas number one was Do They Know It's Christmas by Band Aid in 1984. A year later, it was Merry Christmas Everyone by Shakin' Stevens. In 1988, Cliff Richard had the Christmas number one with Mistletoe and Wine. In 1989, Band Aid 2's Do They Know It's Christmas was the Christmas number one. Band Aid 20 had the next Christmas number one that was actually a Christmas song with their update on Do They Know It's Christmas in 2004. Lad Baby has the record right now with 5 consecutive Christmas number ones, but it wasn't until their fourth one in 2021 that they served up a Christmas song with help from Ed Sheeran and Elton John. That one is Sausage Rolls for Everyone. The next year, Lad Baby had their 5th Christmas number one with the song Food Aid, which was a reworked, with permission, version of Do They Know It's Christmas, with proceeds split between the Band Aid Trust and the Trussell Trust, a charity that works to end the need for food banks in the UK. And the Trussell Trust was the charitable recipient of all 4 of Lad Baby's previous Christmas number ones. Lad Baby chose not to release a single in 2023. Instead, they released their first board book in November of 2023, titled Greg the Sausage Roll, 12 Days of Christmas, which they described as being, quote, more than just a book, it's a musical journey that's all about getting kids singing. Research has shown that rhyme and singing play a vital role in children's development, fostering coordination, imagination, concentration, memory, confidence with language, and a love for reading. Having experienced the joy of 5 Christmas number ones, we wanted to inspire the next generation of kids to start reading and celebrating the magic of Christmas through the power of song, end quote. And finally, at least for now, in 2023, the Christmas number one was Last Christmas by Wham. But that's not the only place that honors Christmas number ones. In Ireland, Christmas number ones are singles that are top of the Irish singles chart in the week in which Christmas Day falls. The Irish singles chart was first published in 1962, and the first artist to top the chart at Christmas was Elvis Presley with Return to Sender. It wasn't until 1971 that A Christmas Song became Ireland's Christmas number one. That was Tommy Drennan's version of O Holy Night. In 1973, Slade's Merry Christmas Everybody became Ireland's Christmas number one. 5 years later, it was Boney M. with Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord. In 1984, Band Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas was Ireland's Christmas number one. In 1987, it was Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues with Kirsty MacColl. Cliff Richard's Mistletoe and Wine was Ireland's Christmas number one the next year. And it was Band Aid 2's Do They Know It's Christmas the year after that. In 1990, it was Zig and Zag with the song The Christmas Number One. Ireland's next Christmas number one that was actually a Christmas song was in 2004 with Band Aid 20's Do They Know It's Christmas. And the next Christmas song to become Ireland's Christmas number one was Merry Christmas from Ed Sheeran and Elton John from 2021. And that's it so far. For comparison's sake, the UK has had 14 Christmas number ones that were actually Christmas songs, while Ireland has had 10, though their singles chart didn't begin until 10 years after the UK singles chart started. And for further comparison, the US has only had 7 Christmas singles that have hit number one, but not all of those would be Christmas number ones, if that was a thing in the US. In fact, only 4 of them would be Christmas number ones. Bing Crosby's White Christmas in 1942, Jimmy Boyd, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus in 1952, the Chipmunks, the Chipmunk Song in 1958, and Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You in 2019, 2021, 2022, and 2023. Mariah Carey would have tied the record held in the UK by Lad Baby, except that in 2020, she was knocked out of the number one spot for the week of Christmas by Taylor Swift and her song Willow. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Lad Baby's record is held at 5, possibly because they did not release a single in 2023. And since I'm recording this in June, it's a little early to know if that will be the case for this coming December. Thanks so much for listening, helping me share some Christmas spirit, and for continuing to support the Sounds of Christmas station and podcast. I already told you how to listen to the station, and you're listening to the podcast now, so my work here is just about done. All of our episodes are available on the Sounds of Christmas website. Just click the podcast tab. And we also have a Linktree page, and I'll put a link for that down in the show notes, so you can find your favorite streaming site, click on over, subscribe, and you'll never miss another episode. If you have comments or suggestions on this episode, previous episodes, or the Sounds of Christmas station, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through the website. And if you're listening to this episode on your phone, you can also click the Send Us a Text Message link and connect that way. Thanks again. And may you always believe in Santa Claus.